Listen carefully, because what I'm about to tell you is the real reason some people glide through life untouched, unbothered, and unmanipulated, while others get pushed, pulled, and played like pawns. Machiavelli understood something most people still ignore today. Power is quiet. Control isn't loud. Confidence isn't shouted, and real psychological strength is invisible until the moment you need it. The first silent tactic is this: don't react fast. People who manipulate you rely on your speed, not your logic. They want you emotional, impulsive, flustered. They throw pressure at you because pressure makes you predictable. So you pause, you breathe, you let silence do the talking. Nothing threatens a manipulator more than someone who refuses to rush. The second tactic: observe motive before words. Everyone talks, but not everyone reveals intention. Watch why someone wants something from you. Are they appealing to your pity, your ego, your fear of being alone? When you start seeing motives instead of messages, you stop falling for flattery, guilt trips, fake loyalty, and emotional traps. You become someone who hears between the lines. The third tactic is brutal but necessary. Don't explain yourself excessively. Weak people over-explain because they're terrified of disapproval. Strong people state their boundary once. When you stop justifying every choice you make, manipulators lose their favorite weapon, your need to be understood. The fourth silent tactic: let people reveal themselves. Most manipulative people expose their tactics if you let them talk long enough. Ask one question and stay quiet. They'll brag, contradict themselves, or accidentally show their agenda. Your silence becomes a mirror they can't escape. And the fifth tactic, the one Machiavelli would smile at: control your emotional face. Your expression is a vault. The less people can read you, the fewer buttons they can push. A calm face is a psychological fortress. People project onto it. And projection is predictable. These tactics don't make you cold. They make you untouchable. They make you the kind of person who walks into a room and instantly shifts the power dynamic, not by force, but by presence. If you truly want to become impossible to manipulate, you must master the next silent tactic: control the frame. Most people walk into conversations accepting whatever frame the other person sets: guilt, urgency, superiority, pity, pressure. Not you. A powerful mind doesn't enter someone else's frame. It rebuilds the room entirely. Here's how it works. When someone tries to corner you emotionally, you don't defend yourself. You shift the frame to logic. When someone tries to rush you, you shift the frame to time. When someone tries to guilt trip you, you shift the frame to personal responsibility. This forces manipulators into unfamiliar territory, and they hate unfamiliar territory. The next tactic is subtle but lethal: great at distance. People assume manipulation happens up close, but it often begins with access. Too much access. So you create layers: emotional, conversational, and personal. You become warm but not available at every second, friendly but not deeply involved. This confuses manipulators because they can't find a handle to grab onto. They need closeness to control you. But your silence creates selective distance they can't decode. Another crucial tactic: never reward negative behavior. It sounds simple, yet it's the downfall of most good-hearted people. The moment someone disrespects you, lies to you, or pressures you, and you still give them attention, closure, or energy, you've trained them that manipulation works. Silence is the strongest punishment. Withdrawal is the strongest message. When someone crosses a line, your response isn't anger, it's absence. Now listen carefully. Manipulators thrive on predictability, so your next tactic is strategic unpredictability. This doesn't mean chaos, it means refusing to be emotionally programmable. Sometimes you respond instantly, sometimes later, sometimes directly, sometimes with a question. Your pattern becomes water, fluid, unreadable. People can't manipulate what they can't anticipate. And the final silent tactic of this part may be the hardest. Become comfortable with being misunderstood. Manipulators weaponize your desire to clear things up, to fix their opinions, to prove your innocence. But once you embrace the truth that you don't need to correct anyone's perception, something incredible happens. Their control dissolves. They no longer have leverage because you no longer seek validation. These tactics turn you into someone who doesn't need loud strength. Your power speaks without words. Your presence enforces boundaries, and your silence becomes a strategy. One that reshapes every relationship, every negotiation, and every room you enter. The next silent tactic is something almost nobody talks about, yet every powerful strategist uses it. The art of controlled ambiguity. Manipulators depend on knowing exactly how you feel, what you think, and what you'll do. But when your answers become slightly vague, never confusing, just not fully revealing, you instantly shift the power dynamic. You don't lie, you don't overshare. You give just enough information to be understood, and nothing more. Ambiguity forces people to reveal their own assumptions, and their assumptions expose their motives. Next comes an even sharper tactic. Ask questions instead of defending yourself. When someone tries to corner you, don't explain, interrogate. Why do you ask? What makes you say that? What outcome are you hoping for? Most manipulators can't handle being questioned. Their tactics crumble because questions demand clarity, and manipulation thrives only in confusion. A single calm question can flip the entire power structure of a conversation. Another silent tactic: use delayed reaction as a weapon. Not every message deserves an immediate reply. Not every insult deserves acknowledgement. When you delay your response, you break the manipulator's rhythm. They expect you to panic, defend, or react emotionally. But instead, you create psychological space that you control. Delays make others anxious, forcing them to reveal more than they intend. You become the person who acts on your timing, not theirs. The next tactic is subtle but devastating. Mirror actions, not emotions. If someone speaks respectfully, you respond respectfully. If they try to push, you give minimal resistance. If they escalate, you de-escalate into silence. Mirroring neutralizes their leverage. It prevents them from dragging you into emotional traps and forces them to respond to your tone instead of you reacting to theirs. Then comes the deeply Machiavellian tactic: control the reward moments. People don't remember every interaction with you. They remember peak moments. So when someone behaves well, communicates honestly, respects your boundary, that's when you show warmth, clarity, generosity. You're training their subconscious that healthy dynamics get access, while manipulation gets nothing. This is power disguised as kindness. Finally, the silent tactic that separates the strong from the unshakable. Detach your mood from other people's behavior. The moment someone can influence how you feel, they can influence how you think. Detach emotionally, observe rationally, respond strategically. Your internal state becomes your fortress, impenetrable, unshakable, yours alone. Once you master these tactics, manipulation becomes impossible. Not because the world changes, but because you do. You stop being the easy target. You become the person who controls the tempo, the tone, and the truth of every interaction. The next silent tactic you must master is one Machiavelli respected above all: emotional neutrality. Most people walk into conversations loaded with fear, hope, or insecurity. Manipulators sense this instantly. They use your emotional temperature against you. But when you remain calm, steady, unreadable, you remove every open door they plan to walk through. Neutrality isn't coldness, it's clarity. It allows you to see motives without distortion. Another tactic: identify the leverage they think they have and quietly eliminate it. Every manipulator relies on a pressure point: your need to be liked, your fear of conflict, your desire for approval. But once you release the emotional weight of that weakness, their influence collapses. They can't use a chain you've already broken. Then comes a powerful psychological move: respond to tone, not words. Manipulators craft clever sentences, but their true intention hides in tone and pacing. If the tone is pushy, slow down. If it's disrespectful, shorten your replies. If it's provocative, stay silent. Your reactions teach others how to approach you. You become the person who sets the emotional climate. The next silent tactic is essential: never show where you're hurt. The moment a manipulator discovers your emotional wound, they return to it every time they want control. So you keep your reactions internal. You don't flinch. You breathe, you listen, you stay composed. Your stillness becomes armor. Now the tactic of selective presence. Your attention becomes something people earn. You choose when to engage and when to withdraw. Not emotionally, but in availability. This unpredictability keeps manipulators off balance. They can't corner someone who isn't constantly present. Your absence becomes a form of silent power. Another advanced tactic: signal that you have options. You don't brag. You don't announce. You simply live in a way that shows you're not dependent on any single person. People respect someone who can walk away without fear. Independence is the loudest quiet strength. And finally, hide your intentions. The less others know about your plans, the less they can interfere. Manipulators depend on information. When you become a person who moves quietly, who shares selectively, who plans privately, you become untouchable. These tactics make you someone who can't be pushed, guilted, or controlled. You respond with intention. You move with awareness. And your silence becomes a form of psychological dominance. The next silent tactic is one of the most powerful. Master the pause before commitment. Weak people agree instantly. Strong people evaluate. Unmanipulable people pause. A pause makes others reveal their urgency, their agenda, and their true intentions. Manipulators hate pauses because they can't control someone who thinks before acting. The pause is your shield, your filter, your psychological weapon. Next, you must cultivate information asymmetry. You know more about them than they know about you. Not through spying, but through observation. People reveal everything in patterns: how they react to stress, how they talk about others, how they behave when ignored. You listen more than you speak, and in silence you learn. Knowledge is control, and you gather it without saying a word. Then comes a core Machiavellian tactic. Reward loyalty with access, but never with dependence. You can be generous, supportive, even warm, but never dependent. The moment someone believes you rely on them emotionally, they gain leverage. So you remain balanced, appreciative but not attached, trusting but not blind. This creates a dynamic where people respect you, not because you demand it, but because they feel it. Another essential tactic: use micro boundaries. Most people believe boundaries must be dramatic or loud. In reality, the strongest boundaries are subtle. A shorter reply, a delayed response, a calm "not today," a quiet exit from a conversation. These micro boundaries train people to treat you correctly without conflict. They recalibrate the entire dynamic. Now you master insulation of self-worth. Manipulators try to chip away at your confidence because a weak identity is easy to control. So you build your self-worth internally, not from approval, validation, compliments, or reactions. When your value is self-generated, no one can influence it. Nothing confuses a manipulator more than a person whose confidence has no external source. Next comes the silent tactic of strategic non-engagement. Some situations don't deserve your explanation. Some people don't deserve your reaction. Some arguments don't deserve your presence. Walking away, not angrily, not dramatically, but calmly, is a message louder than any words. Non-engagement is not weakness, it's dominance through indifference. And then the final tactic of this part: be the one who ends conversations. Politely, smoothly, without uncertainty. All right, that's enough for today. I'll continue this later. Good talk, I'm heading out. The person who ends the interaction controls the interaction. It signals confidence, independence, and authority. Once you master these silent tactics, people stop trying to manipulate you, not because they suddenly become better humans, but because they realize your mind is not a place they can enter. The final silent tactic is the one that turns everything you've learned into permanent power: emotional self-governance. You become the ruler of your inner world, your reactions, your impulses, your thoughts. Manipulators only succeed when you abandon that position. But when you stay centered and grounded, nobody can pull you into their chaos. You respond with intention, never with desperation. Next comes the mastery of silence as strategy. Most people fear silence. Manipulators fill it with pressure. But powerful individuals let silence do the work, revealing motives, exposing insecurity, forcing honesty. When you can sit calmly in silence, others start speaking far more than they planned. Another final tactic: protect your internal narrative. Manipulators try to rewrite your story by exaggerating weaknesses or denying your strengths. But when your inner voice stays firm, "I am capable, I am clear, I stand my ground," you become unreachable. No external voice can overpower self-belief. Then comes the shift from reaction to observation. You stop reacting to words and start analyzing patterns. You study behavior, consistency, timing, and motive. This turns you from a target into a strategist. You stop playing their game and start studying it. The next tactic is one manipulators fear most: calm withdrawal of access. No shouting, no dramatic exit, just distance. When someone lies, distance. When they disrespect, distance. When they push, distance. Your absence becomes the consequence they never expected. Another elite tactic: don't respond to emotional bribery. Flattery doesn't move you. Attention doesn't seduce you. Guilt doesn't redirect you. Manipulators rely on emotional currency, and when it stops working, they lose control. And then comes the ultimate silent tactic: walk away from anything that threatens your peace, without explanation. No final speech, no debate, just a clean exit. Your peace becomes your throne, and you protect it without apology. Practice these tactics long enough and you don't just become hard to manipulate. You become someone who commands respect without speaking loudly. Someone who moves with quiet certainty. Someone whose presence shifts the entire room. This is the modern Machiavellian mind: calm, strategic, untouchable. If you want more content that builds your mental strength and makes you impossible to control, follow, like, share. Your evolution starts now.